Facebook has their own audience. Twitter has its own audience. X will have its own catered audience as it starts to develop and grow, especially when you start implementing all these other things into it. Welcome back to another week.
Sometimes crypto.
The unscripted
crypto podcast.
Hey, yo. We're getting good at that.
Yeah.
You think we should just record the entrance and just have it?
And just have a...
Yeah, man. Instead of us having to do it every time?
No.
Okay.
I enjoy doing it.
Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. I'm fine.
Every time is different. So
I'm fine with that, I said.
It's an art.
It's an art. It's one of your art. It's one of our art forms.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't hear from this ear still, dog. It's really annoying. I'm going to talk about it because it's annoying.
You're trying to clear that out.
So I need to know, have you ever been on a plane? Not you, because we already talked about this beforehand.
I already gave you my advice.
I'm already looking to the audience now. Have you ever been on a plane? Your ear gets, it pops, but it doesn't fully finish popping, and it just stays. It's been like this for one full freaking day now. It's annoying.
I bet. He was like shaking his head.
I was like going on type of dummy stuff, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll get it.
Someday.
One day it'll just maybe.
Could you think I could die from it?
No.
Okay. What if the air bubble goes in my ear into my brain
and into your brain and
that can't happen?
No.
Okay.
It might go out in your nose or something. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't think you'll do any of that. I doubt you'll die.
Okay, I can work with that then.
So we were having a little off the air talk about international relations, and then William was like, "Okay, well, start recording."
No, wait a minute, because you brought up RFK.
I did bring up RFK.
And he brought RFK, and he told me, "Oh, he wants to he wants to back the dollar by Bitcoin," and I was like, "He got my vote. Obviously, he doesn't really have my vote. Let's start off being clear, guys. Jesus, you anti-vaxxers." My bad for that thing. I apologize. I'm so sorry for that. Obviously, you don't have my vote, you bunch of anti-vaxxers. Talking to you frickers.
Oh, because he's very big on not.
Yeah, he's on non-vaccinating. He's talking about.
I was like, why are you talking? And then I forgot. Remember?
Yeah. So obviously,
he wants to propose a economic policy.
Yeah, and I said I'll vote for him because we're going to back the dollar by Bitcoin. But then Alex continued on and said what?
That he'll offer 100%. What I saw was he would offer 100% tax exemption, like a capital gains tax exemption, for any Bitcoin that you give up to the U.S. government.
U.S. government. They want me and you, the people, to give them our freaking Bitcoin. I was like, hell no. I was like, your mother type stuff.
It's like, that's not happening.
I'm like, negative. Why would I give you my Bitcoin? How does that, any logic? Why would I give you my Bitcoin so you can make the dollar back by Bitcoin? I'll just keep my Bitcoin.
Tax exception.
No.
If you need to spend it for something, spend the Bitcoin.
I'm not going to say nothing because it could be legal ramifications for what I say next.
Well, the thing is, look,
no financial advice here, by the way, people. We don't do that.
In the future, if the U.S. dollar is backed by Bitcoin, then you don't need the dollar. You can just
buy Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah. But maybe there are some use cases where the dollar makes more sense. What is that use case?
Only when you're going to go out the country and you buy other stuff in other countries because it's so dirt cheap. Darn cheap or dirt cheap, either or.
Dirt cheap. It's dirt.
Whatever floats the boat.
Yeah. But he said he wanted to start small. If it were to start, only 1% of treasury bills would be backed by hard assets.
I want those.
Gold, silver, Bitcoin. And then the idea would be to ramp it up.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, it's better than nothing. I personally wouldn't give up my Bitcoin for that.
Negative.
I don't think I would do it. I'll be happy if he does it, implements it. But
just buy Bitcoin, you bunch of slime bags.
So you just don't get the dollar.
That would just make,
Yeah, but
that would also centralize the Bitcoin.
It will centralize the ownership of Bitcoin.
Yes.
But how much Bitcoin do you think that the U.S. government would be able to actually accumulate?
We have a limited amount of debt at the moment. We can buy quite a bit.
You think the government should just start printing bills to buy Bitcoin and then...
Dude, we're already doing it. Might as well buy something worthwhile. Look, if we're already printing worthless money, might as well buy something not worthless. Guns, lands, Bitcoin.
Guns
and gold and silver.
The thing is, we do buy some of those things, but we also give it out for free.
Which one of those? The guns?
The guns, mostly.
We're not giving out for free. We're giving out for economic. It's a power play. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a specialist.
Economic sustainability.
Maybe.
So I heard that there was a rice like tariff that was being put India on the rest of the world, and people are buying up rice like crazy because of fear that there will be a rice shortage. I think the reason why I think I mentioned that was because of the whole when the Ukraine war first started, it was that they provided a lot of grains to the world, and one grain major exporter and now another grain exporter reducing the amount of grain that they're exporting seems like a pretty big deal.
So we gotta make our own rice too?
You gotta make your own rice. It's about self-sovereignty, being able to hold yourself up and doing with what you're doing.
Man,
the issue with self-sovereignty is that that's not very good for business.
Man,
because then you gotta specialize in everything, and you can't really specialize in everything.
Yeah, it's difficult.
There's pros and cons to everything. No matter what ideologies you believe in, there is a pro, there is a con. It just depends on what you want to.
And there should be. I don't know why there isn't a balance.
I mean, there technically is a balance.
No, there isn't.
The world works. I mean, things happen.
No. The world works.
Correct.
But it's not a balance. It's just we work with. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard that humans are one of the most adaptive creatures.
Humans?
Humans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we just adapt the best to like situations. So we just adapt to the terrible situations.
To the worst situation.
Yeah, we just make it happen.
So to adapt means to make sure that you can survive in a new environment that's unhospitable to most.
Yeah.
Which is a thing in evolution.
Yeah, and humans are the best at it. Or one of the best at it. Because that's what evolution is. Every time a new creature lives in a new place, like fishes. They live in the salt water, right? Ocean fish. You can't live in there. That's very unhospitable to you. What? People live on the water all the time.
Yeah.
They're called waterland. Like, they're called water
They
tribe.
live by the
like,
water.
literally water. No.
But they can't stay inside the water.
Obviously. Yeah, but I'm saying they live, like, okay, there's a tribe of people that live on boats that they makeshift, and they flow with it. Like, they flow, like...
They just live... What? Whoa, really?
They live on boats.
Really?
Yeah, like that.
They don't live on, like, land. They just live on...
on the water. They live on the water boats. But, like, it's not like... Think about, like, a canoe with an engine of some sort. And they make that's their home.
Really?
And they just move along with that.
Do they stay in, like, a specific
I
region?
think I don't remember. This was a while back. I watched it, like, years ago. And if I'm not mistaken, they're, like... Yeah, they're just on the water in the middle of nowhere. And they just... on a boat.
Yeah,
They just fish and stuff like that.
I remember hearing of some people that spend a lot of time, like, dive fishing, like...
Yeah.
Scuba. Now, I don't want to say scuba fishing because they don't use scuba gear. But they go underwater and they fish like that.
Yeah, they just dive.
And that they have, like, an insane lung capacity.
Yeah.
They can stay underwater for a really long time.
Because imagine generations have been doing that. They
the ones who can do it the best are the ones that are going to reproduce.
No, I'm assuming they are going to reproduce.
Huh?
The majority of them are going to reproduce. Now I don't think the best would be the only ones to reproduce.
Absolutely. If let's say, if you need food, the best way for you to get food is to go underwater and catch some fish.
Yeah, but like
the ones who could get the most food can provide most for their family. Therefore,
yeah, but tribes like that are very communal.
True.
Like the worst one diving would just do something else.
Maybe.
No, it's typically how it works. Yeah. Like, it's a community thing.
Humans have that ability of sharing resources with the best because of, like, this whole, like, you're really good at building properties or building something. Building tools or something. So I'll go do the hard stuff, at least the hard stuff for you, while you do the hard stuff for me. Yeah. But that goes into the thing I mentioned earlier about how self-sovereignty is, like, not one individual can do everything.
It's a community. Like, small tribes, like it's not one person, like real tribes,
Mhm.
like real nomadic tribes and stuff like that. It's not one person raising a child. It's a village raising the child.
Yeah.
Because one person just can't. Like, it's just too much work. That's why this whole thing of like you raise a child on your own is like absurd. Like it takes a village to raise a child.
It literally takes a
That's
village.
what they say. That's what the saying is.
Uh-huh.
That I've heard. I wouldn't know. I don't have a child.
Yeah, but you could see people with children. Like, mothers ask for their parents, or like
Yeah, for help.
parents ask for their parents for help. And parents are like, oftentimes the grandparents are willing to help. Not always the case, but like oftentimes. And if not, you have friends also. That is definitely one of the benefits that we have as like the species that we
so
are.
many tangents here.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
I don't know how we got to raising kids.
No, we were talking about like living in unhospitable environments. How we get to that from Bitcoin being the dollar, I don't remember. But essentially, I don't even remember what I was talking about. I don't even, trying to backtrack me while I'm trying to like finish a thought. Now I don't even remember what I was trying to get to.
Sorry.
Let's see. Can I remember? Humans being social creatures and working in a community gives us the ability to thrive in any uncomfortable situation. Because like when it comes to hunting, let's say, it's usually not just one person hunting.
No, it's a
team of people, yeah. And as a society, well, we get things done because we work together. Collaboration. It's all about collaboration. We need to collaborate more.
That is something I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I'm just thinking about how we talked about RFK back in Bitcoin, and now we're on...
I honestly don't know how we went on that whole confusion.
We do that.
But you want to go back to RFK?
What about him?
I
don't know. You just told me that...
Yeah, the 1% of treasury bills are going to be...
I want those that are backed by something.
So then the other ones aren't backed? By...
I don't want those.
I'm sure there'll be some way. Okay. RFK is the nephew? Not nephew.
I don't know.
Okay, when someone's your uncle or your aunt, you're their niece.
Yeah, he's his nephew.
Nephew?
Yeah.
Okay. I speak two languages. Sometimes I get confused. I get confused with the.
Don't, bro. You just made yourself.
Bro. Okay, so this is definitely a thing. When you speak more than one language, you forget words in the other language, and then the words that you know in one language makes you think that another word is something else. And I'm sure it gets worse if you know even more languages.
Honestly, I think that only happens because we're not masters of any one language.
I mean, true, but it's difficult to be a master of specifically. Like, you got to read a lot.
Yeah.
You got to read and you got to write a lot, proficiently in both.
Yes.
So essentially, yeah, he's like the nephew of JFK.
Nephew of former president who was assassinated.
Cool.
JFK.
Do we know why JFK was assassinated?
So
or are those just conspiracies? Theories and like,
if we're gonna get into it, no. So from what I've heard, I've heard this from Andrew Bustamante. He's a former CIA agent, not top rank, but he was up there. Mm-hmm. He did quite a few missions. He was deep dive. He does a lot. He's been on multiple podcasts. Good information. What he says is the rule is 50 years times 2, if I'm not mistaken.
50 years times 2?
Yeah, something like that.
So 100?
Or maybe 25 times 2, 50 years.
Okay.
So essentially it's giving enough time for the information that it won't affect the public.
Oh, you're saying
classified information.
The time.
So what he says is classified information has a limit of time where it's okay to be unclassified because it won't affect anyone. Because the people who would have been a part of it or whatever should be deceased or not in power or in a way where it won't affect anyone.
Like the research conducted for the COVID vaccines. that's been classified for a very long period. There's a lot of people in power now, or like better active and alive, that if certain things are to come out, there
I
might
wouldn't
be
have said
some-
that.
yeah.
I would have said more the conspiracy, maybe not the conspiracy, the connection to Fauci and the Wuhan lab.
Mhm.
There'll be more
There's more
classified
stuff
information
there
there
behind that. Okay.
until more that would be
Mhm.
those 50-year threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're saying,
That's just current, like relevant. More
Yeah, I just
relevant
mean for
things.
currency
I'm
to how long we'll have
I'm
to
not
wait.
trying to go down some like. Crazy
we don't care about
I
it.
don't.
I'm over it.
Okay, so going back to RFK,
So
JFK.
So what they say, what he said was JFK's been 50 plus,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing's come out yet.
Really.
And he says, how much of effect could it really be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how bad could that information really affect the world then?
Mm-hmm.
It still hasn't come to light.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that
If it's reached that threshold of
And it's
like
still
it's
not
time
out.
to be,
or that not even that it's going to be let out willingly, but that it could be
it could be,
released, and they haven't done so. It's like he basically implied what type of information it could truly, like, it's some heavy stuff.
Absolutely.
Is the thing he made.
Yeah. So from what I remember hearing, like this is conversations that I've heard. Like when I was younger, there was a guy
Love this tangent.
There was a guy who used to work with my mom, right next to my mom, like where she worked at the flea market, and he would collect bills, different bills that had different numbers, like different serial codes on them, and there was one in particular that he was like, oh, there's this like green stamp on every dollar. It's like, oh, it's issued by the Federal Reserve, but there was this period in time where JFK was president, and he started issuing out a new bill, and that bill had a red stamp on it. That's because he also wanted to change the financial system and like how it was being done and stuff like that. So those red bills had like some type. I don't know the specifics of it because I was a child when he told me about this stuff. But essentially, those bills had like it was like a different financial like backing for those bills, and that he got shot shortly after that.
Maybe.
So when I heard that RFK Jr. was planning on changing the financial system, I started like looking into like what people opinions were, and they're like, oh, he has to watch out because he might end up like his uncle.
Well, not just his uncle, his father as well was killed, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember seeing something like that too, but I don't know what his father did or what was
Also
up
in
with
politics, if I'm not mistaken.
Also in
some
politics.
sort.
It's great. Assassinated.
Yeah.
Killed.
Well, the thing is, what they're saying is, the Kennedy family originally was a mafia family.
Really?
Yeah, like Kennedy's got money because his father, JFK's father, was in the mafia, and that's how they got their money. They were bootleggers, if I'm not mistaken. They took that money, and were able to put John F. Kennedy in position of powers with that money, and he had mafia ties and stuff like that. That's why it was very controversial. Like they had dirty money where they were able to become a very prominent family with that.
I see.
So that's why you say John F. That's why one of the conspiracies is that the mafia killed Kennedy. Well, JFK for that.
So it could be the mafia because
It's a theory.
It's a whole
There's a lot of theories on who did what.
Mhm.
More than one bullet. The magical bullet, because there's also this bullet that they have a picture of that's completely intact.
What?
Yeah, it's called the magic bullet.
What do you mean completely intact? Like
It's intact.
No,
It's not busted. It's not broken. It's
Mhm.
not shattered. It's a full solid bullet.
Mm-hmm. In the casing. No, out of the casing.
Obviously.
It's just a
Just-
projectile.
But it was fired,
Mm-hmm.
and if it hit Kennedy, it wouldn't look like that.
Mm-hmm. But he got shot more than once?
There's a lot of
Well,
theories.
either way, that bullet, if it got fired, it should be bent or scratched or some type of damage should be done to it.
Yeah, but it's perfectly intact.
That's crazy.
Called the magic bullet.
Really?
Yep.
First time I hear about that.
Son, you don't.
I'm gonna look into that because it's
Yeah.
the first time I hear about the magic bullet. That's crazy.
The Rogan talked about it multiple times
Multiple times.
on the pod. Yeah. Man, I listen to a lot of Rogan.
I gotta search up Rogan clips on the magic bullet.
Or just other people talk about it. But yeah. And well, you brought up changing the financial system. Elon was said on a recent interview. I don't remember where or with who.
Before you get on this, I'm gonna say later on I want to roll back on something since we talked about
Just do it now.
Deaths in politics.
Okay, just do it now.
Just now? Okay, fine. There's recent news that came out a few days ago, a day or two ago, at the Obama's residence in Martha's Vineyard, that one of the sous chefs of the White House during Obama's administration drowned in a lake near there while he was paddleboarding. The guy is a proficient swimmer, and the lake is apparently also kind of shallow. So that's just like big news going on now. I looked into it. One guy said that he lived there, or he lived near in that area, and that specific body of water has a lot of mud on the bottom, and that people end up like sinking in there. Like they start kicking their feet, like the mud kind of like sucks them in a little bit, and as they like kick, like it kind of like
They can't get out.
Yeah, they can't get out. It's like kind of like a quicksand situation, and they drown, and then they end up, once they body like relaxes, the mud kind of like lets them
Loosens
go,
up.
and they fall to the top. So there's people saying, oh, like what's up with that? How's this proficient swimmer dying here in this lake? And that's the one explanation that I saw that I was like, oh, that sounds valid. Like, I don't know, I don't like believing random conspiracies, because a lot of people are saying a bunch of random stuff, like, oh, what's up, like what did he find out, what did he know? He's a chef, like chef stayed in the kitchen, what can he know? I'm pretty sure it was an accident. I just want to bring that up because we're talking about like deaths in politics, so I thought it was like
You
relevant.
derailed this conversation to bring me that information, right?
I thought it was relevant. I was like, this is like similar, like people talk about this.
How do you think, dude?
So talk about
This guy, bro.
Tell me I'm wrong.
How it has anything to do with what we're talking about? Has nothing to do. It's a random chef. I'm sorry for the family and their loss, of course. Obviously. But now, being just in terms of this podcast and how you derailed the entire conversation.
I did not derail no
for like a
conversation.
2-minute segment on this. This is wild. No. I sound very insensitive now because of you.
It's just because I wasn't talking about what you wanted to talk about.
Oh my god!
That's why I said after. But now you told me to go for before. It's okay.
Because I thought it was interesting.
It's okay, William. It's okay, William. We could go on. Talk about.
I don't like you.
Talk about.
I need. Okay, I'm taking.
Talk about Elon and.
I am taking applications for a new co-host of Sometimes Crypto. Please send your information to the email below. Obviously, there's not going to be an email below.
Yeah, because I'm the one who writes that.
Obviously. What do you write?
I put it in. I put it in the description.
He just said he does something he doesn't do. What do you write?
I press copy, paste the entire description into the thing. After I proofread it, because
you know what's funny?
Because I need to.
You know what's funny? He has to proofread it because I write like dog. This is 100% fact. But the fact that he says the one who copy and pasted it into the thing is a lie. Because I'm the one who does that.
You did that in the past 3 weeks. I was out for 3 weeks, so
I didn't do it for the past 3 weeks.
Okay.
Who's been uploading?
Whatever.
I have.
Yeah.
Then it hasn't been for the past 3 weeks because you haven't been able to download the audio file on its own.
Oh, you're talking about the
description.
The RSS. Yeah.
Which were you able to do that? YouTube. Were you able to do that this week?
No. Oh my God. I completely forgot about that. Guys, I'm sorry. It's complete. Okay, so I cannot convert, at least for some reason I haven't been able to convert.
He just say he forgot, meaning he didn't even try to figure it out. I want to make this clear in the video.
I had the whole issue. I can't live without William. I'm being honest, I can't live
I'm gone for 5 days.
Can't live without him.
I never need to bother him to do anything. And
because I left everything already.
What did you leave?
Clips, thumbnails. Tell me.
Those are all your jobs.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
And I did all my jobs.
I'm not saying that's not the case.
He wants to do this right now. What about all the other clips from the episode that I was gone for 5 days for? Where are they at? This guy thinks he does one thing one time. And he's like, I did my job. I did my job, guys. Hey, I did my job.
This is funny.
And I'm here like, I did your job, my job for 2 weeks. And then some. Well, it's okay.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page.
This guy got jokes. last week's episode is up on YouTube. The RSS feed will be up later today.
You should be able to listen to it on your podcast streaming services.
Later today in a couple of
If William says it'll be done, it'll be done. Well, today is Thursday for them.
Today would be Thursday for you, but this will be up on Tuesday.
Cool. Elon.
He just, bro, I knew something was gonna be missing. I knew it. Oh my god, I knew something was gonna be. I knew it, bro. I just had a thing. I felt it in my system. I'm gone for 5 days, Brian.
You already knew.
Oh Jesus. Back to what I was gonna go to. Elon said that he's changing the Twitter symbol to an X symbol.
He's getting rid of the Tweety Bird?
He's getting rid of the bird. And we're not gonna, I don't know what we're gonna call tweets anymore.
That's a
Xing.
That doesn't sound right. That does not sound right.
You know what? You might be right. And maybe we shouldn't call it Xing.
I think they'll still call it tweets.
Nah, we gotta come up with something better.
I do know they're going to be changing followers for like viewers.
To Xers?
No, viewers.
Damn it. So ideally, we can probably get our pod up there.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do that now. Maybe.
Well, our Twitter was taken down for some reason.
Yeah, we got to do it.
We got to redo it.
We got to. Yeah, but the thing is, here's they're like, oh, if you try reopening it up again, then we're going to just close it. Like, why? It's not.
I mean, just use a different email.
I sent them a very heartfelt email.
Remember, they're short staffed right now.
They were short staffed when that happened.
So I say we retry, and this time we just upload everything.
Just redo it.
Redo it, and we just upload all the files and stuff. Talking about Twitter.
Twitter.
Or now known as X.
X.com.
Whatever. So he has an interview, a recent one, where he talks about that X will most likely be conducting a large portion of the financial payments.
A large portion of the financial payments?
Yeah, like they're going to be handling
a lot of
transactions apparently.
Like tips, payments for...
Son, I got no idea.
So one thing that I know that they want to implement...
That's just crazy.
...is shared ad revenue for viewers of your page.
Dude, don't break the mic.
So if you have people going to your Twitter page, like your actual, like, your page, your X page, and they start scrolling and they see ads, you would get ad revenue from that. Obviously, it'd be within the app, and that might also be ad revenue within, since it's stored in the app, being what we talked about earlier, that it might be, what's it called, going towards their balance sheet still.
Yeah.
Since it's like assets under management. But that is good news for the content creator type people, individuals who have good followings, good traction on Twitter. So actually, Twitter's a very good place to get viewers. You retweet stuff. People see it on their page.
So, yeah. Another thing, another news I saw that was with Elon changing the logo and all that stuff, it takes down like Twitter's brand value from like 20 billion to like 5 billion. Like in terms of brand value.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Twitter's like well known. Now you gotta get all these people who like used Twitter like probably like a year or two ago or 3 years ago and never touched it again. Just to like replace the logo with an X. Like, okay, well, what's this X company? It'll take a while for all those people to realize it.
So,
but I don't think it'll take too long either.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Like a lot of people shit on Elon, and I know a lot of people say Elon is, he sold himself to the Saudis, whatever, with the loans that he got from them, whatever they bought into. But the type of like balls to just buy something like that.
Or Twitter.
Buying Twitter, however much he paid or how he did it. And just going, you know what? We're changing it. No longer called Twitter. No longer called tweeting. We're something different. To try to make it like this, like, how China has WeChat. Mm-hmm. To try to make that here. Wild.
Yeah, absolutely wild. But then again, he has a lot of capital to work with, so he could take this risk on this vision that he sees. Like, I'm pretty sure he sees Twitter as mostly just a like base platform, base code that he likes.
Room to grow.
Yeah, he likes the overall structure, but there are things that he would change himself. X hence.
Yeah. Well, he
Hence X. I said that back.
X.
Yeah.
So I just put up an article that says tweeting is expected to be called X's.
Okay. I'm sending out X's right now.
X's, you know, I called that.
Okay, cool.
But interesting to see.
You said Xing.
I said X. I did say that.
I'm Xing. I'm sending out X's. I don't know. I find the X's to be kind of hard. But whatever. Nonetheless, that's what they're doing. And that he hinted towards followers being changed to viewers.
I mean, it's a lot of changes coming for that. Like, it's taking on a big
Paid subscription models for hidden tweets, paywall. Makes sense.
So now that you bring that up, the subscription model, and that we'll touch on this a little more now. But I have somewhere to go with this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of interesting to see where is he gonna take this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his
Do you think he'd kill Facebook?
Listen, this whole thing of one's gonna win and one's gonna die is it's not gonna happen. They're both are gonna continue existing. Facebook has their own audience. Twitter has its own audience. X will have its own catered audience as it starts to develop and grow, especially when you start implementing all these other things into it. Just how one day it was only OpenAI with an OpenAI chatbot, and 3 weeks later everyone had a chatbot. Same thing's gonna happen here.
Everyone's gonna try to be a super
app of some sort, which may work, may not. Like literally, we just said super app, and I'm scrolling down in this Business Insider article, and it literally goes a new super app, like one of the things.
Yeah, because that's what
WeChat.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Which this, with it being like that, it might be considered. I'm sorry if I'm too close to the microphone. It might be more of a monopoly in any case.
So what is a super app?
An app that can do anything. You can buy on it, you can sell on it, you can get paid in it, you can post, you can do long form, short form, do financial transactions on it. It can do anything. Or it can do the majority of your needs in one place.
Store data,
which his other thing is he would like it to be on blockchain.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, like I'm literally reading private text about a blockchain-based platform must also discuss creating a social media platform built on blockchain. The billionaire is known for his love of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Oh, we're talking.
So it will play into. He probably won't use Bitcoin just because it won't be cost effective.
Definitely,
but he'll probably use the Dogecoin, doggy coin that he freaking pumped. Where I'm sure he bought a crap ton at low, he pumped it, he sold it, and he probably rebought this large dip we had for the last 7 months, 8 months, close to a year, which would make sense. So he's doing a lot of movements to move away from ad revenue. That way you're not based on advertisers.
Yeah, but you could have multiple forms of income,
Correct.
like transactions, like fees.
100%. Which I'm just interested to see how this is going to move forward.
Yeah. It'll definitely take some time, and there'll definitely be regulatory battles.
Oh, for sure. There's always going to be that. Now, segueing this into the thing I want to touch on. Remember we talked about that writer strike like a couple weeks back now? Well, it's going at it still, even heavier than ever, larger now. And they're pushing that they want more pay, more this and more that. So apparently, no one makes money.
What do you mean no one makes money?
Subscription-based platforms like my apologies, Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, all of these, the majority of them are losing money, but they have high stock value. Apart from Hulu and Netflix. Hulu and Netflix do make money. They're in the black. Barely, but they're in the black for now.
In the black?
They're in the green.
They're in the green.
Like they're breaking even, essentially. Okay. Maybe Hulu's making a little more just because they do have advertisers. You do have a paid subscription model as well. But Netflix, from what I've heard, is just in the black. Like,
well, what I've heard is that Netflix spends a lot on just creating new shows and like production.
But they really don't. Like the majority of theirs is licensing. But it makes sense that
I know Disney doesn't make a lot of money off of.
Disney doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
So Disney just came out with Invasion. I haven't
seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. I've seen the first episode. It was a good episode. I'm just not really into the second generation, the second wave of Disney. Like I just didn't get into it like that.
Of Marvel.
Marvel specifically. But you know how much you spent on Invasion?
No idea.
Consider this. It's not considered a movie. It's considered a show.
What, 50 mil? Double that? Double that? 200 mil?
$212 million.
Jeez.
Which is the same production for one of their big movies, like the last Ant-Man and last other movie. Now, let's take it with a grain of salt. There is 6 episodes. So it's technically 2 movies for the price of 1, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's still a TV show.
Does it get the viewership?
Does it get the viewership?
Does it bring in new viewers?
Exactly. Disney can take the hit because Disney has the theme parks and everything else.
Disney has a bunch of... Disney owns everything.
Exactly, but you can't do that if you're a Netflix. Like you can't spend $212 million on a thing because you're gonna lose your butt on it.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Disney owns everything.
Yes, but that's why they're getting rid of a lot of things. Bob Iger, literally says like we're gonna cut down on our Marvel production and stuff like that, and on all this. Like so I think the sentiment right now is Marvel has overexposure. They're too out there. You have to cut it back down, which I can see that.
Yeah, there's a new Marvel movie every year. There's more than one Marvel movie every year.
Exactly. When before it was like, oh, if you got like an Iron Man and maybe a Cap at the end, you're like, oh snap.
Like
that never happened. You never got a Captain America and an Iron Man the same year. It was one or the other. Maybe you get a Thor instead, which
even then, I'm pretty sure they spread it out like.
It was more
dramatically.
Also, what happened is you had Endgame, which it's just like it's the end of the saga for the casuals. Like you wrapped everything up. Now you're trying to bring in new characters, and it's difficult.
Yeah, now it's more complex storytelling. Like there's a lot going on now.
So like this, it's not for the casuals. It's more for the people who are into it.
So yeah, cutting back on that makes sense.
Makes sense. You can recreate that hype. But it goes. What I was trying to get it to was so with this writer strike, they're all asking for more pay, more equal rights, more everything. But they
want better treatment.
They want not just treatment, but they want to get paid more and produce more and whatever. Apart from that AI conversation we had way back then. But that would mean that these streamers would have to show their numbers. Meaning they would have to say what viewership these shows get, or these movies get, or these anything get. Which, if you do that and they're not performing at that high rate, apart from Disney, because Disney has everything else going on. But if you're just a Netflix, if you're just a Hulu, if you're just a Peacock, if you're just an HBO Max, and your numbers aren't there, your stock price is going to take a hit.
Correct.
And that's currently what you're offloading on. Is that fact? Price. Is that investor like, oh, this makes sense because this is still where everyone has to go to watch stuff.
But if no one's watching it,
if numbers come out, and no one's watching it, or they find out, oh, it's Stranger Things is getting. I'm just gonna throw out a number. Gets 60% of viewership. The Stranger Things cast will be like, hey, where's my money? If I bring all the viewership,
yeah.
Which Stranger Things was a hit.
But that makes more sense though.
You're right.
Like the shows that bring in the most viewership
should get paid more.
The ones that hold the most retention.
Correct.
The ones that bring in the most
100%.
Clients.
Yes. That means the writers
performance based.
You're right. That means the writers are gonna lose their jobs.
Well, the ones that can't perform.
That's a majority.
Why do you say that?
Because how many Stranger Things are there? How many shows hit like Stranger Things hit? How many shows hit like House of Dragon hit? How many shows hit like The Mandalorian? There's far and few between. There's more writers, more actors than there are shows. So meaning you're going to lose, those writers and actors are going to lose out on more of their jobs.
If they can't perform.
the majority of shows won't perform.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is what it is. Like,
So-
it takes a lot. Like,
So
it's a hit or miss game.
what you're saying is the majority of the people in that industry have a
Job.
have a base pay that's pretty like within median.
I don't know if they're within median, if they're underpaid. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if numbers are shown, it means we can put value to the dollar. We could put $1 to the viewership.
Because yes, correct. But the assumption is, well, at least based off of what you're saying, is that the writers for these big hitters like Stranger Things that they didn't know was gonna take off the way it is got paid the same amount as the writers for any other show.
I'm sure once after season 1
Correct.
or recontracts came out, they were re-signed. Mm-hmm. They were able to replay and renegotiate, like everything does.
Correct. Yeah, which makes sense because like you could tell which shows like
after it, you can tell because it became popular. It became a thing in the media.
It could literally be trending on social media,
which it does.
It does exactly, which is competitive. So if a writer doesn't make a show that makes,
what I'm saying is majority of shows aren't hits.
Aren't hit.
They're just things you watch. Mm-hmm. Like they're just a thing. They're not moving culture. Majority of shows are just there. Mm-hmm. Versus the ones that do hit, when they hit, they can hit big.
So you're saying that it might be the case where some people don't know what they're particularly arguing for?
They may know what they're arguing for. They may not like the outcome. Mm-hmm. It may not be the outcome they want. Mm-hmm. It may become more fair, but it may hinder the majority. It may benefit the minority, mm-hmm. which would be the shows that are performing really well. The writers may not get the outcome. The writers and actors may not get the outcome they want, and it may help the minority, not the majority, because the streamers will have to show the viewers, and they'll be able to also put $1 to what a viewer costs. Like, really put an like how much it costs them for a view type of thing. But essentially that's what we were talking about. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting what comes out of this writer strike, because it's not just the writers striking now, it's also like actors.
Yeah, and then they can't do promo of any sort for their movies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like the unions are saying they can't go, if you're part of the union, you can't go promote anything, like you can't go down podcasts, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the union.
The union. Like, okay. To promote any of the things. And anything that you do see being promoted by a company, mm-hmm. it's old film, mm-hmm. already recorded, mm-hmm. type of thing.
It's been going on for a while, right?
It's been going on for a little while longer.
I don't think we're going to see the effects of it for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Everything's on hold, though.
Yeah, everything's on hold.
So the biggest thing I saw, which this was on Brilliant Idiots, a lot of this thing that we're talking about was on Brilliant Idiots, actually.
Okay.
Well, maybe not for you. I watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, because I'm mentioning it because this is a specific take by both Schultz and Charlemagne. Well, the majority. I don't think the majority is a specific take, but this is, which was they're saying they made a comparison how why this doesn't affect the music industry the same way. Mm-hmm. And the main difference is music streamers don't make the music. Mm-hmm. The labels do. Versus the actual streamers make the content. So it's more costly.
Okay.
Unlike the streaming end.
Yeah, so like the streamers mostly just focus on,
putting up the music, getting ads in front of it, mm-hmm. and stuff like that.
Music streamers.
Yes, and then they on the back end set a mm-hmm. price on what they're gonna pay mm-hmm. the label for mm-hmm. putting out the catalog on their service.
The label just knows how to make that most efficiently.
Because the artist is the one who mm-hmm. does it.
So then, what's to say that like from this writer strike we'll just get like more just
independent?
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Like, producers, directors would have like their own like companies. Like
that's what
I want to say like a
mm-hmm.
DreamWorks type situation, like
until they get bought or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they were referring to. That more individuals, artists mm-hmm. that either be directors or actors will just produce and make more individualized work, take the upfront cost. Let's say a cost of production is $10 million. Mm-hmm. Then they'll go to a streamer and be like, I'll sell you my thing to cover production. And then if the show does well, whatever, you'll pay me X amount after the fact. But you minimum have to pay me production a little bit, for an example.
It'll be interesting.
But then that becomes a whole nother thing, because then streamers still would have to show how many views they get. How many views that specific show got.
And it'll still be affecting their stock price.
And it will still somewhat affect the stock price.
Because right now, like, what's keeping the stock prices up? The assumption that
they're making money. Maybe not the assumption that they're making money. The assumption they have market share.
Oh, the market share thing.
So Netflix is still up valued at the way it is
because like everyone watches Netflix.
You have to watch Netflix. A lot of people watch.
Everything's
Netflix.
on Netflix, like that.
Correct. Mm-hmm. The difference is Netflix doesn't produce banger shows left and right.
They don't.
But HBO produces banger shows left and right. Mm-hmm. But they've always done that.
I feel like Netflix has a good like model for keeping people who like the casual viewers to just watch stuff. Like they just kind of like follow a formula for a lot of the stuff that they produce, and you just like kind of like rinse and repeat it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just that's a hot take, I guess.
Also on the Brilliant Idiots, what they said, another thing was how they'll probably change the formatting from binge watching to how HBO does it, and they release a new episode every week to grab the attention. Like, oh, you have to come back to watch it.
That's what Disney's doing.
That's also what Disney does. Mm-hmm. Yes, both do it, but that's newer because the Netflix model was
just
here are the 10 episodes, watch it. But then Netflix would have to continuously crank out more and more and more to keep it up. Versus HBO and them, they'll be like this 10 episodes, but it's minimum 10 weeks that you have to come back for. Meaning it gives us time that you'll probably stroll around and find another show.
What is good with that model specifically is that retention will stay higher. For sure.
100%.
Because if I could watch a show in 10 days versus 10 weeks, I don't need the subscription for 10 weeks. 10 weeks goes over 2 months.
Yeah.
So
that's minimum 2 months.
That's minimum 2 months that I got 2.5 months I got to watch, like subscribe to if I wanted to watch the show.
And you're not just going to watch that one show. You're going to find something else.
Yeah, of course. Something that's probably started a month after that. And then
something else.
Now, I'm watching this show and I'm watching that show. So now the 2 months ended. Now I got to finish the other show. So definitely that's the move. At least think about it logically.
Yeah.
If I was a streaming service, spread it out.
What's our time?
We're about 47 minutes in.
Wow.
Give or take. So
some cutting and everything else?
Mostly take, yeah.
Mostly take? Yeah, 100%.
There's no give on this.
Yeah, no. These cameras suck.
Why? It's already overheating?
No, they just we just have to keep on pausing. It's just annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Oh, some crypto news, just because we haven't really touched a lot of crypto. But Japan has to get more crypto clarity, and they've added more regulations and how they can follow up, and you can sign up on exchanges. Like you can create an exchange, and there's an actual process in how to sign up.
How to create exchanges.
Yeah,
like
how you
get businesses to be opened up.
Yeah, like Binance is going back to Japan, and they're going to be able to like properly set up with Japan, and like they're communicating well. Like there's more clarity and guidance on how to go forth versus the U.S. There's wild west
gridlock,
essentially.
That's good news for Japan.
Yeah, and Binance. Because they're getting a bigger market. We'll definitely have more crypto news for the next episode.
Yeah, next week.
More crypto focus for sure.
More crypto focus. Things should be happening. I don't know. I feel like things will be happening this week for crypto.
I'm not saying it's just not even happening. Well, I'll just be able to catch up to more things that were was gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
With no real good access to internet.
No internet outside of your normal living habits.
Well, the good thing was we pay business plan.
But we want to share it to the crowd.
I went to Chile.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing where I went. Yeah, I went to Chile.
Because you went on a flight and your ears clogged at the beginning.
I didn't specify. Yeah, I went to Chile. It was fun. Went to the mountains.
You went to the mountains? That was the mountain ranges. Are those the Andes?
I have no. Don't ask me questions.
Okay.
I know the town we went to was Pucón. Pucón.
Oh, Pu with a P.
Pucon. And it was just like a town there, lit town. It was lit. It was nice. Cold. It was really wet this time of year. I was told like later, like August to September, more August ending, is way like there's more snow. It's colder. It's not so wet.
It's mostly wet.
Right now it's super wet.
Okay.
I get back in a couple of weeks. It gets more snowy.
Pucón. Oh, god damn it.
What?
Oh yeah, definitely the Andes. Wow, so the Andes mountain range, hugs the entire
thing of Chile,
coast of South America. Like from Chile all the way up.
I'm not cultured enough yet. I'm sorry.
Like goes up, like super, like all the way up to Venezuela, pretty much. Oh, so like top to bottom. Did
hella driving all throughout that. I drove all of that.
Was it steep?
What?
Like,
Yes, not crazy steep.
did you feel like the car was gonna go backwards?
Only once,
Oh, really?
and I was going up to the cabin that was rented.
With snow rain. With
more yeah,
icy rain.
It wasn't even snowy. Not for Alma, it wasn't snowy. It was just wet.
Mm-hmm.
But the car never skidded or nothing. It was always chilling. If anything, it was really curvy. Like it was just there was a turn every other yeah. You had to type stuff. Other than that, nothing crazy.
What did you do over there?
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing.
Ate food. Food's good.
Food's good.
Pizza was good.
Pizza?
Pizza's good, man. Beer was good too.
Good beer?
I just know your daughter goes further outside the U.S. than anywhere else. It's wild.
Yeah, the dollar holds a lot of value. Just except for here in America.
Yeah, America doesn't go anywhere. But anywhere else, your daughter goes far.
It's just the part that I don't. It's crazy to me.
He goes mad far. Like apart from any fully developed country, maybe even in Europe, your daughter doesn't go far, because things are more expensive there as well.
Some places.
Yeah.
Things are pretty market value.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things in Spain.
There's cheap.
Wine is cheap.
Yeah.
Beers are cheap.
Meat's cheap.
Meat's cheap. Yeah. Food is pretty cheap over there in general. However, what's not affordable at all is rent.
If you live there and make their currency.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, if working in the country and renting in the country, just pretty much, it's not a livable place working and living there.
That's why you gotta make U.S. dollars and live somewhere else if you want to. Like we talked about with Diego.
Yeah, pretty much be a digital nomad.
Yeah. Well, we also, not to go off topic about the trip, but we said last episode we're gonna watch that Freedom movie, which we never did.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
At some point. Maybe for next episode. Since we're here now.
Maybe. Hopefully. Gotta watch the movies.
We gotta just because we talked about it. Even though the conspiracy there is that the production company did that on purpose to drive up
oh really
interest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which apparently, which makes sense because people are like, oh, their friends are buying tickets for people to go, and that's causing people, even if they don't go, they already bought tickets for the movie, so it goes to them. Mm-hmm. But I heard Oppenheimer's really good.
Yeah.
And the Barbie movie's just the Barbie movie. It's fun, it's energetic. They did great opening weekend. Both movies did.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's been wanting to watch those two movies.
Yeah. Oppenheimer looks crazy.
I heard the last 30 minutes of Oppenheimer was really good.
It's a lot of build
One
up.
person said life-changing.
It's a lot to go
dramatic,
through. Oh, for sure.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I want to
gotta watch that on an IMAX theater though.
No, there's actually a specific one you gotta watch it in because it was shot a certain way to where it's really wide and it's very narrow. So it brings in old movie feel with the effects of the new.
So one thing that I saw, a comment was they're nicknaming it Kroppenheimer because most movie theaters will crop the crap out of it.
Yeah, because it's too narrow or whatever it is. That's why you gotta watch it. If I'm not mistaken, it was IMAX 70 millimeter.
I don't know what it is.
It's the best way to watch it.
I know at least two individuals know exactly which movie theater I should watch it in. I just asked those people.
I'm pretty sure they'll say what I said. But yeah.
But we gotta watch that movie.
Yeah, I think it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, we could wrap up. Sounds like a decent time.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a short episode.
We'll be following more crypto news.
Yeah, next week there will be definitely more crypto intensive.
Yeah,
we'll be back on that.
Yeah, because crypto, we love it.
Or sometimes crypto.
Yeah.
Well then.
Thank you for tuning in
to another episode.
Oh wait, you want to wrap up shares, comments?
Oh yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment. There will be more clips coming out. Ideally, if Alex does his job.
Yeah, I'm doing that today.
Apparently, I'll get back to you on that. Next episode, if I'm shitting on him, is because he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'll make sure the audio's up. By the time you hear this one, audio will be 100%. It's gonna be it's gonna be up today, today Monday. Today Tuesday's gonna be up.
Yeah. Besides that, just keep an eye out. We got clips coming out, reels. Which
Alex is gonna be busy because there's 4 episodes at this point. By the time he does these clips, that he has not touched.
3.
This is 4.
This is 4, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
by the time this one's done, you should have clips for the other one.
Oh, for the other ones, for sure.
So you should have clips for this one.
For sure. I'll get clips for this one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll get plenty of clips. You guys got plenty of content.
That's what I'm saying.
Got plenty of content coming your way. Thank you for tuning in.
to another week
of Sometimes Crypto,
the unscripted
Crypto Podcast.
hey yo